Hello, dear listener. Can you guess the twist ending? Listen carefully. The girl who bought silence. Lena lived in a loud city. It was the noisiest city in the country. Cars honked all day long. People shouted. Dogs barked at every passing bicycle, and music played from shops. Lena was a quiet girl with long brown hair and glasses. She liked to read books and draw pictures. But the noise was always too much. She couldn't think. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't hear her own thoughts. "Why is everything so loud?" she asked her mother. "That's city life," her mother said, "and that's normal here." But for Lena, it wasn't normal. Every day the noise was louder. Every night she put her pillow over her head, but it didn't help. One rainy Tuesday, Lena took a different way home from school. It was a small street. She didn't see that street before. At the very end of this street, she found a small shop. It had no name, no sign. The windows were clean, but nothing was inside. It was the only quiet place on the whole street. Curious, she walked in. A small bell rang softly when she opened the door. Inside, the shop was simple and clean. The walls were white. There were empty shelves, and next to them stood a woman with silver hair and kind eyes. "Hello," said the woman. Her voice was soft like falling snow. "Hello," said Lena. "What kind of shop is this?" The woman smiled. "What are you looking for?" Lena thought for a moment. "Peace," she said. "Quiet. A break from all the noise." The woman smiled. "Then you're in the right place." "What do you sell?" Lena asked, looking at the empty shelves. "Silence," the woman said. She reached under the counter and placed a small glass bottle on top. It looked empty, but when Lena looked closer, she could see something like clear water inside. "How much?" Lena asked. She only had her lunch money. "Free," said the woman. "The first one is always free, but be careful. Silence is powerful." Lena took the small bottle of silence. It felt cool in her hand. She put it in her backpack and thanked the woman. That night in her bedroom, Lena looked at the bottle. Does it really have silence inside? How is that possible? She decided to try it. She opened the bottle. At first, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the noise faded away. Everything stopped, only silence left. No cars, no yelling, no barking, just peace. Even her thoughts felt clear, like water. Lena smiled. For the first time in years, she could hear herself think. She read her book without noises. She drew a beautiful picture. She slept better than ever before. The next morning, the silence was gone. The city was loud again. Lena got ready for school, but she took another bottle of silence from her backpack. The woman had given her 3 bottles. On the train to school, everyone was talking loudly. A man was playing music without headphones. 2 women were arguing. A baby was crying. Lena opened her second bottle of silence. Everything went quiet. People looked surprised. They looked around, confused. Then something amazing happened. They smiled. They relaxed. Some people closed their eyes. Others took out books and started reading. The man turned off his music. The women stopped arguing. The baby fell asleep. The train ride was peaceful. When Lena got off, the silence stayed on the train. People waved goodbye to her, even though they didn't know why. At school, her class was noisy as usual. Kids were shouting. Lena opened her third and last bottle of silence. The classroom became quiet. Everyone could hear the teacher. They studied well. They learned more than usual. At the end of the day, the teacher thanked the class for being so good. Lena went back to the small shop. The woman was waiting for her. "It worked," Lena said. "The silence is amazing." The woman gave her more bottles. "Share them wisely," she said. Soon, people noticed the change in places where Lena had been. They started asking her for silence. She gave it to the park, where people could now hear birds singing. She gave it to the market, where shoppers could think clearly. She gave it to the hospital, where patients could rest. People loved the silence. They thanked Lena. They called her the Silence Girl. She felt important and helpful. But slowly, things changed. People stopped talking to each other. Smiles faded. No one laughed anymore. Music stores closed because no one wanted music. Babies cried but were not heard. The city felt empty, even though it was full of people. The world was too quiet. Lena felt sad. She missed the sound of her mother's voice, of kids playing in the park, of the wind in the trees. She even missed some of the city noises, the street musicians, the friendly shouts of the fruit seller, the sound of rain on umbrellas. Even the silence in her room felt heavy now, like a blanket she could not lift. It was no longer peaceful. It was lonely. She ran back to the shop. "Please," she said to the woman, "I made a mistake. The silence is too much. How do I bring back sound?" The woman looked at her. "Balance is important," she said. "Too much of anything is never good." She gave Lena a small silver bell. "Ring this where you want sound to return," she said. "But remember, choose carefully. Some places need silence, others need sound." Lena took the bell and ran. She went to the park first. She rang the bell. Slowly, sound returned. First a child's laugh, then music from someone's radio. She ran to the streets and rang the bell. Car horns returned, but not as many as before. People began talking again. A street musician started playing his guitar. She went to her school and rang the bell. The sound of children playing came back. Teachers' voices returned. The school bell rang again. The world came back to life. People hugged each other. Birds sang again. Kids played and shouted with joy. A man played the guitar on the corner, and people clapped along. A girl shouted her friend's name across the street. The city breathed again. Lena realized something important. Silence was good, but not all the time. Sound was part of life. Laughter, music, voices of loved ones. These were precious too. From then on, Lena used silence only when needed, like in libraries or hospitals, or before sleeping. She kept the bell with her to bring back sound if the silence grew too heavy. She learned that silence is not the same as peace, and that sound is part of what makes life rich and full. Now, she carries the bell and one bottle of silence, one for quiet, one for joy. She shares them wisely, bringing balance to her noisy city. "What did you learn?" the silver-haired woman asked her. when Lena visited the shop again. I learned that we need both, Lena said. Silence and sound. Each has its place. The woman smiled. That's why the shop has no name, she said. Some call it the silence shop. Others call it the sound shop. It's really the balance shop. Lena nodded. She understood now. Life wasn't about removing all noise. It was about finding the right balance. Everything has a place, even noise.